everyone, today I want to share my one invaluable tip for outdoor filmmakers, YouTubers, and photographers. And it's carabiners. Super useful and multi-useful, and yeah, really help you up your storytelling game with all the extra uses, and that's my one tip. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, now that we've lost the non-diehard filmmakers and photographers, here's the actual tip. And we're just going to jump right into it. What you're going to do is you're going to take your camera, you're going to point it up towards the sky, and you're going to stop the aperture all the way down to something crazy like f/22. And what that is effectively going to do is immediately make all the sensor dust that's on your sensor become incredibly apparent. Super easy test. And the reason why that's important is because when you're out in the field and you're just looking at this LCD monitor on the back of your camera, often you don't notice those little spots until you get back in front of the computer and you're editing it later on, and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, my shot's ruined. For me personally, years ago, I was filming these really high-end hyperlapses for a client, and some of those shots would take 3 hours to film just a second or two of video. And so I needed a reliable way of being able to tell whether or not there was sensor dust on it between takes or between lens swaps when the dust gets in. And this is a quick and simple way of determining whether or not you have dust on your sensor. And a lot of people out there think those spots come from your front lens being dirty, but it's actually sensor dust. Now, if you happen to find sensor dust in your image when you stop down to one of those higher apertures, first of all, don't panic. It's not uncommon to find at least a little sensor dust on your sensor, and the trick that we use means that you're going to be able to locate where those things are in your image as you're backing back off the aperture value. And as you're doing so, you want to sort of get a gradual idea of where it sort of disappears and becomes completely unnoticeable. Like, for instance, stuff that you see at f/22 or f/18 might be completely unnoticeable at lower values, like say f/8. And if that's the case, then you're good to go. However, if you're beginning to notice that some of that dust is hanging around into some of the lower aperture values that you'd be using on a regular basis, your first option is going to be to use the camera's internal sensor cleaning feature. It's going to either shake or vibrate the sensor to hopefully free up that dust and give you a clean image back. After you use that feature, you're going to put your camera right back up at the sky. You're going to stop down to f/18 or f/22 again, and hopefully, Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. But if you don't see that sensor dust go away, then you're going to have to go to something like a rocket blower. But if that rocket blower doesn't work for you, then you're going to have to start exploring other options, like, for instance, a sensor scope, which has its own internal sensor loop for identifying the dust that's on your sensor and will allow you to locate it, landmark it, and then hopefully remove it with a sensor swab. But it's not for everybody. It requires a high attention to detail when you're doing it. It can leave streaks on it and make your images worse, so it's not for everybody. And that, for some people, might be the end of the line. So if you're confident doing that, that's an option. But if you're not, think about sending your camera in to have it professionally cleaned. In any event, I hope you found this tip useful. I personally use it before every shoot, every major outing, every morning of a big trip, anytime where we're filming stuff that we only get one chance at taking those shots, to help make sure that they're usable and we can keep them and we don't get any distracting dirt in the images. So we look forward to seeing you in the next adventure, and until then, thanks for watching. Bye.